Hello everybody, thank you for tuning in to another Cup of Tech. It's been over a week since I've done a show. It's been a couple of weeks. I had my birthday, then I was sick around the same time, and anyway, so here we are. Speaking of birthdays, the internet, the World Wide Web, the place that you're watching this on, it started 20 years ago this week. So it's celebrating the internet's 20th birthday, and that's pretty amazing that it's only 20 years old. I can remember the day when I was, dialing up, with the cuckoo, choo, and trying to get online. It was crazy. I mean, we're talking about 15 kilobits per second, and that now we're doing faster than that on our phones, for example. Crazy. So amazing. Internet turns 20. We're now even using the internet. I've reviewed a Chromebook recently, which is pretty much purely internet based. 20 years ago, 10 years ago even, you wouldn't have even dreamt of something like that. So huge achievement. I love the internet, which is how you guys are watching me. So very good. Now, since I was away, a couple of things happened. HTC One has launched in Australia. Galaxy S4 has launched in Australia. I attended the HTC One launch quite a while back, but eventually is now released in Australia. The S4 launch I attended last week at the Opera House. It was absolutely amazing. As always, their launches are always huge and crazy. But I did get some hands-on time with the S4, and some things I can tell you is that it feels good. It's got a larger screen than the S3 had, but physically it's much the same. It feels identical to hold, but you do notice the bigger screen for sure. You do notice the 1080p screen. It's so crystal clear. It felt like it was brighter than as I remember the HTC One to be, but it's hard to really say without having them side by side. It was snappy. It felt great. You don't get a lot of hands-on time with them, but it felt good. I'd play with the air gesture, and that worked really well actually, just sort of waving your hand and flicking through photos. That was kind of cool. It looks nice. I'm waiting on review units for both still. There's just a huge scarcity of these products right now. Even if you wanted to buy them, it's actually quite difficult to do in stores. So trying to get a review unit is proving to be a little bit difficult. But once I get them, I'm hoping to get them at the same time, and then I can do like a side-by-side comparison. But let me know if you guys have any questions, and I'll always be able to try and get back to you on them. But again, I haven't reviewed them yet. Hopefully soon. Apple not sent out invitations, they announced the dates for WWDC. Now that's the Worldwide Developers Conference, and what that is pretty much the time and place where Apple talks to developers about iOS, which is the operating system on iPhones and iPads, and OS X, which is the Mac software on their computers, which is exciting because, Apple's copped a fair bit of slack about their iPhones looking so much the same forever since they've launched, and the whole operating system is hoping to get a bit of a revamp, changing things, maybe even adding widgets, starting to look at Android and seeing all the success that they've had with their design and maybe make some changes on iOS. Interesting to see what happens. It's on between June 10th and 14th. I won't be going there, it's in San Francisco, but it'll be interesting to see what comes out, because you think about what they talk about there, then leads on to later on when they announce the iPhone 6 or 5S or whatever they're going to call it, and obviously a new iPad, iPods, whatever else they're going to have. That will be exciting. More to come on that. So many things have launched recently, one of which now is Blackberry's Q10 device. Now, I have the Z10, which I've reviewed, but the Q10 isn't out in Australia, but it's launched in Canada, for example. I think the UK has got them as well now. Really hoping to see the Q10 in Australia. I've had time with it. I used it when I was in New York at the official launch, and I used it also when I was in Melbourne for the Grand Prix with Blackberry, catching up with them. I like the Q10. I love the feel. I really feel like Blackberry users, a lot of them are holding out for the Q10 rather than buying the Z10, just because it's got that keyboard and it feels Blackberry again. So I'm going to be interested to see that. I actually might see it earlier than it comes to Australia, and I'll explain why in a second. The second news bit about Blackberry is that Thorsten Heinz, who's the CEO of Blackberry now, who I've actually met, really nice dude by the way, and now he came out this week and said that tablets will likely die off within the next 5 years, saying that people won't need tablets because everything should be happening on their mobile device or at their desk in front of a computer. Interesting comment. If they're basing it off Playbook sales, absolutely. The Playbook was a flop. That died in 5 days, not 5 years. And I don't think that that's a good example of what the tablet industry is going towards, obviously. iPads have been a huge success. There's been some great Android tablets as well. Do I think that it will die off? I don't know. But I will say one thing. I have an iPad. I have an iPad here. When I was using the Chromebook, which is a very simple internet-based laptop, I didn't pick up the iPad once. In fact, I barely even used my computer because I found that most of my work was through internet pages and I still needed the cursor and the keyboard, which I can't get on the tablet. So do I need a tablet? Not really. It doesn't suit me. I don't have to have one. I can get by without one. But there are some people who just need them and use them day to day. So will they die off? Probably not. But will they keep going crazy in popularity? Maybe not. Who knows? But I don't think they're going to go anywhere. Oh, now, the reason that I mentioned that I might get my hands on a Q10 earlier is because of one particular thing, not Next Cup of Tech, but the one after that. So in 2 weeks' time, I'll be doing this show in Orlando, Florida. I'm actually going to the Blackberry Jam, Blackberry Live conference, which is a huge combination for developers. It's quite a huge event for Blackberry. It's almost like the Wwdc for them. And I'm probably going to have my hands on a Q10 for the trip. I'm probably going to see and learn more about what BlackBerry is doing as well. So if you are a big BlackBerry fan, stay tuned for that because it's going to get really, really interesting. Now also, Mother's Day is coming up. Actually the day I fly out is Mother's Day. But it's coming up, and if you are stuck on gift ideas, I did a small little gift guide on notanalog.com. Check it out because it goes from free to 450 bucks. So you've got quite a good range there of gifts to get for your mum. Check it out, it's pretty cool. Other news as well, there is a IT Journalism Awards which they have in Australia. And every year people get, you nominate your site and then they get judged and you make the finals and whatnot. Notanalog.com is actually up for Best Independent Media, which is crazy because it's up against the likes of some really good websites like even Ozdroid, for example. But this show, Cup of Tech, is actually up for Best Video Program, which goes up against the shows which are on TV, like crazy stuff. So it's a huge honor to be made a finalist for the show, for the awards night. It's just crazy because this is a YouTube show. There's no production crew. It's me and 2 lights and a camera. But thank you guys for watching. You guys really do make what it is. Do I care if I win the award? Not really, because this is what I care about, sitting down and having a chat with you guys. So make sure you comment, make sure you stay tuned, and we'll see you next week.